Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're zeroing in on a fascinating corner of the beauty and skincare world. Physician Dispensed Cosmeceuticals. Those advanced serums, creams, treatments you can really only snag through a doctor's office.
Exactly.
We've got this detailed market report as our guide, and, well, our goal is to sort of distill it all down for you.
Yeah, give you the essential knowledge about this growing industry.
Right. How big it is now, and, importantly, where it's headed.
And just for clarity, when we talk about these physician-dispensed cosmeceuticals, it helps to think of them as sitting in that sweet spot.
Between, like, regular cosmetics and full-on prescriptions.
Exactly that. They're packed with active ingredients, marketed for beauty benefits, but crucially, sold directly by physicians.
Okay, so let's get a handle on the big picture first, the overall global market. What kind of numbers are we actually talking about right now?
Okay, so according to the report, the global market is estimated to hit USD 624.5 million in 2025.
9.6 billion. Okay.
Yeah. But here's where it gets really interesting, maybe more telling. By 2033, that number is projected to nearly double.
Double. Wow.
Reaching USD 118,079.9 million.
That's a huge leap. So what's the underlying force driving that kind of explosive growth? Is there a specific rate?
Yeah, the report points to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 8.2% between 2025 and 2033.
8.2%.
Which, if you connect that to the broader beauty and wellness trends, it signals a really significant sustained upward trend.
Yes.
And it's worth noting, these projections, they're built on solid data. 2024 is the base year. They use historical info from 2021 to 2024 and then forecast out to 2033.
Okay, that gives us a fantastic overview. Now, I'm really curious about how this breaks down geographically. Which parts of the world are currently leading the charge?
Right now, North America holds the lion's share. We're talking over 37% of global revenue.
Over a third. Right.
Their market size in 2025 is estimated at USD 361.07 million, and the projected CAGR is 6.7% through 2033.
That makes sense, actually. It feels like there's a pretty strong cultural emphasis on, advanced skincare in North America. What specific factors are fueling that lead?
Well, there are several interconnected things. The report highlights, first, a high level of consumer awareness. People know about these products.
Right.
And there's a strong existing demand for these sort of sophisticated skincare solutions.
Okay.
Plus, think about it, there's a significant aging population there, often quite invested in maintaining their appearance.
Yeah, the anti-aging focus.
Exactly. Add to that the prevalence of various skin conditions and, relatively high disposable incomes. It's kind of a perfect storm for this market.
And if we dig down a bit more, within North America, are there specific countries that really stand out?
Oh, absolutely. The U.S. is the dominant force, no surprise there. Market size of USD 2,809.68 million in 2025.
Wow.
And a CAGR of 6.5%. That really underscores the consumer awareness point.
Okay.
Canada follows with a USD 427.33 million market, but their CAGR is slightly higher, 7.5%.
Oh, interesting. Why higher?
Likely influenced by its aging population, maybe even more so than the U.S. proportionally, and also increasing disposable income.
Right.
And Mexico also shows significant potential. USD 324.06 million market, 7.2% CAGR, so still strong growth.
Okay, interesting. So North America is clearly the current front runner. What about Europe? How does it compare?
Europe comes in second, still a very significant market, holding over 29% of global revenue.
Okay, so not too far behind North America.
No, not drastically. Their market size for 2025 is estimated at USD 2,791.11 million. And their projected CAGR is actually a little higher than North America's overall rate.
Oh.
Yeah, 7.2%. So healthy growth there as well.
What are the key factors driving growth in the European market? Similar story to North America.
Somewhat similar, but with maybe some cultural nuances. The report emphasizes this deep-rooted cultural importance of appearance and beauty for many European consumers.
Okay.
We're also seeing, like in North America, growing awareness of cosmeceuticals, especially among older folks looking for effective anti-aging. And again, the prevalence of skin disorders contributes, alongside increasing disposable incomes across the region.
And just like we did for North America, are there specific countries in Europe that are particularly noteworthy?
Definitely. The UK stands out. Market size of USD 468.91 million and a strong CAGR of 8.0%.
8%. That's quite high for Europe.
It is. Could be linked to their well-established healthcare system, maybe easier access through physicians there.
plausible.
Germany is actually slightly larger in market size, USD 552.64 million, but a slightly lower CAGR at 7.4%, perhaps reflecting, technological developments in their cosmetic industries.
Right.
Then you have Russia, Italy, France, Spain, all representing significant chunks.
Okay.
And it's interesting, even some smaller nations show solid growth. Sweden at 7.3%, Denmark 7.0%, Switzerland 6.9%, even Luxembourg at 7.5%.
So broad-based growth across Europe.
Yeah, it seems so.
Okay, so North America and Europe are the big established players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about Asia-Pacific, APAC? We always hear about its massive potential.
You're absolutely spot on. APAC currently holds around 24% of global revenue, market size. USD 2309.88 million in 2025.
Okay, so third largest for now.
For now. But here's where the future story really starts to unfold. The projected KGR for APAC. It's a remarkable 11.0%.
11%.
Wow. Yeah, making it the fastest growing region by a pretty significant margin.
Okay, that is incredibly impressive. What on earth is fueling that kind of rapid expansion in Asia-Pacific?
It's a convergence of several really dynamic factors. The report points to a very strong, beauty consciousness.
Right, that's well known.
And a rapidly increasing awareness of cosmeceuticals specifically. Plus, APAC has this huge and diverse population with steadily rising disposable incomes. That's key.
Definitely.
And like other regions, the prevalence of various skin conditions is also driving demand for more effective treatments.
So which specific countries within APAC are really leading this charge? I imagine China's a big one.
Absolutely. China is the dominant force. Projected size of USD 970.15 million, CAGR of 10.5%. Largely fueled by that increasing focus on beauty and personal care. Japan and South Korea also have substantial markets and strong growth rates, 9.5% and 10.1% respectively.
K-beauty influence, perhaps?
Could definitely play a role in South Korea's case, but what's particularly noteworthy is India.
Oh.
While its current market size is smaller, around USD 230.99 million, it's projected to grow at an astounding 12.9% CAGR.
12.9. That's the highest yet.
Highest in the region, yeah. Again, driven by that rising beauty awareness and disposable income.
Incredible.
And don't forget, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, also significant contributors, all with double-digit growth projections, too. Southeast Asia as a collective block as well, 11.8%.
It really paints a picture of APAC as the growth engine for this market in the coming years.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about South America and the Middle East? How do they fit into this global picture? Smaller players?
Relatively smaller, yeah. South America accounts for just over 4% of global revenue. Market size around USD 365.73 million in 2025. But still, a strong projected CAGR of 8.9%.
Still growing fast then.
Definitely. And the drivers are familiar now, right? Growing beauty consciousness, awareness of cosmeceuticals, expanding incomes, skin issues.
And who leads there? Brazil?
Brazil, yeah. And Argentina also has a significant market share within the region and a high KGR too, 9.8%.
Okay, and the Middle East? Similar size?
Very similar size, actually. Around 4.00% of global revenue. Market size USD 384.98 million in 2025.
And the growth?
Also strong, CGR of 9.5%. Again, those same themes. Beauty consciousness, rising awareness, disposable income, skin conditions.
Right. Key countries there. Saudi Arabia, UAE.
Exactly. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the major players. Turkey and Qatar also show strong KGRs over 10%, driven by anti-aging needs and awareness of safety and efficacy.
Got it. And finally, just to round out the regions, Africa.
Africa has the smallest current market share, around 2.21%. Size is about USD 211.74 million in 2025, but still a respectable projected CAGR of 8.5%.
So growth across the board, really.
Pretty much. The drivers in Africa include an increasing emphasis on attractiveness, growing awareness, particularly for anti-aging skin issues, and rising incomes.
And the main market there? South Africa?
South Africa, yes. With a 9.4% CAGR, maybe influenced by social media trends, Nigeria is also growing, driven by interest in personal care.
Okay, that's a really comprehensive regional breakdown.
Yeah.
Super helpful. Now, let's shift focus a bit to the products themselves. What types of cosmeceuticals are really driving this market? What are the key segments?
Sure. The report segments the market in a few ways. Product type is a big one. And looking at that, face care is currently the dominant category.
No surprise there.
Right. Includes your moisturizers, sunscreens, but also the more targeted anti-aging creams, serums.
The power players.
Exactly. And this is fueled by that ongoing desire for youthful skin, increased awareness of just overall skin health, and, the huge influence of social media.
Makes perfect sense. Face care is kind of the cornerstone. What about other product categories? Any showing particularly strong growth?
Yeah, this is interesting. The skincare category, which the report defines as things like body lotions, cleansers, toners, more specialized treatments beyond the face, that's actually identified as the fastest growing segment.
Faster than face care.
Really? Yep. Faster growth rate. It suggests a broadening interest, right? Beyond just the face.
Yeah.
Driven probably by a general increase in beauty awareness globally, rising incomes in emerging nations, allowing for more spending on body care, and lots of innovative products hitting the market in that space too.
Fascinating. Okay, so skincare overall is booming. Now, let's think about how these products are actually used, the applications. What are the primary applications driving the market?
Okay, so looking at applications, the skin lightening or depigmenting segment currently holds the largest share.
Okay, so addressing dark spots, uneven tone.
Exactly. Dark spots, hyperpigmentation, uneven tone. This is driven by, well, a desire for a more uniform complexion, which is tied into beauty standards in many cultures,
Right.
and also the needs of an aging population dealing with things like age spots.
Makes sense. And what other applications are seeing significant expansion? Where's the growth?
The right tide reduction segment, basically tackling wrinkles and fine lines.
Anti-aging again.
Big time. This is experiencing rapid growth, fueled by increasing awareness of anti-aging solutions, a really strong desire among consumers to look younger for longer,
Yeah.
and also the proven effectiveness of certain ingredients like retinoids that you often find in these physician-dispensed products.
And social media probably plays a role there too.
Oh, definitely. Social media is huge in highlighting these types of products, showing before and afters, talking about benefits.
So it really seems like the pursuit of youthful, even-toned skin is kind of the central theme driving this whole market.
Very much so.
Okay, taking a step back then, what are the overarching factors just generally propelling this entire market forward? The main drivers?
The report boils it down to a few key market drivers. Firstly, there's a growing recognition among consumers of the actual tangible benefits you can get from doctor-prescribed cosmeceuticals.
Like they believe they work better.
Yeah, the perception is often that they're more potent, more effective than over-the-counter stuff.
Okay.
Secondly, there's just a clear increase in consumer concern about appearance generally, coupled with a greater willingness to spend money on personal care products.
People are prioritizing it more.
Exactly. And finally, unfortunately, the rising incidence of various skin disorders in the population also contributes to demand. People seeking solutions from doctors.
Right, that makes sense. Of course, with any big growth, there are usually some hurdles. What are the restraints? What's holding it back, potentially?
Two main things mentioned. One is the price. These physician-dispensed products can be significantly more expensive.
Yeah,
That could definitely limit broader adoption for some people. And secondly, because they are often more potent, there can be perceived risks associated with using them. Side effects, irritation.
Right, need that physician guidance.
Precisely. Which might make some individuals a bit hesitant compared to just grabbing something off the shelf.
Okay. And looking ahead, what about key trends? What's likely to shape the future here?
Well, the report highlights evolving customer tastes. What people want is always changing.
True.
And just a generally increasing acceptance and adoption of cosmeceuticals as a category. It's becoming more mainstream, perhaps.
Less niche.
Potentially, yeah. So we can probably expect ongoing innovation in products, new ingredients, new formulations, and that continued shift in what consumers are looking for, maybe more focus on prevention or specific concerns.
Interesting. How are these products actually getting to people? Distribution channels? Is it just the doctor's office?
Primarily, but the report mentions both online and offline pharmacies as key distribution channels.
Oh, so you might get the script or recommendation from the doctor, but pick it up at a pharmacy, maybe even online.
That seems to be the implication. It reflects how people shop today, right? Some want the convenience of online, others value the pharmacist interaction.
Yeah, that makes sense. And who are the main end users? Is it just patients at clinics?
Mostly, yes. Patients visiting dermatology clinics, hospitals, also individuals using them for home care, presumably following a physician's advice. Okay.
The report also mentions an others category, which could potentially include things like medical spas or other aesthetic treatment centers that operate under medical supervision.
Got it. And finally, on the user side, any noticeable difference in terms of gender?
The market is segmented by gender, yeah.
Yeah.
And while, historically you might assume it leaned heavily female,
Right.
we're definitely seeing Growing interest and adoption among men, too.
Hmm.
It reflects that broader trend in male grooming and skincare becoming much more common.
Good point. Okay, this has been incredibly detailed, so helpful. To bring it all together, who are the major companies competing in this space?
It's a competitive landscape for sure. A mix of big pharma companies with aesthetic divisions and more specialized cosmeceutical brands.
Right.
The report mentions names like AbbVie, which includes Allergan, think Botox and Juvederm, but also skincare.
Ah, okay.
Chan Marini Skin Research, Zio Skin Health, those are big names in physician channels.
Right.
Procter& Gamble, Estee Lauder companies, huge consumer goods players also in this space.
Right. Through specific brands, maybe? Exactly. Merz Pharma, Obagi Cosmeceuticals, Vilius, Sientra, CCA Industries. It's a pretty crowded field.
How do they stay competitive?
Usually through a mix of things. Diverse product portfolios, strong relationships with physicians and distribution networks, and crucially, continuous innovation. New products, new formulations.
Are there any recent examples of that kind of activity, new launches or expansions?
Yeah, the report gives a couple of examples. Back in April 2020, Merz Pharma launched something called Bellatero Revive.
Okay, what's that?
It's described as a dermal filler, but one specifically designed to improve skin hydration, elasticity, firmness, and target fine lines.
Oh.
So, fitting right into that rejuvenation theme.
Interesting.
And more recently, October 2023, Galderma launched its Alastin skincare brand in the UK,
Blasted.
with plans to expand to Canada too. Their focus is specifically on products for pre- and post-aesthetic procedures, skincare to support cosmetic treatments.
Very targeted.
Yeah.
Supporting their other offerings, presumably.
Exactly. It shows that strategic thinking within the market.
That gives a really good sense of the competitive dynamics. Okay, so to recap for everyone listening, what are the absolute key takeaways from this deep dive?
I'd say the crucial points are, one, the significant current size of this market. It's already big business.
Right, almost 10 billion globally.
Two, it's really robust projected growth over the next decade, that 8.2% CAGR globally, but especially that explosive growth projected for Asia-Pacific.
Yeah, APAC at 11%.
Three, understanding the key drivers anti-aging evening skin tone driven by consumer awareness, spending, and skin conditions. And four, knowing the key players and how competitive and innovative this space is.
So significant size, strong growth, key drivers centered on youth and evenness, and a dynamic competitive landscape.
That sums it up pretty well. Understanding those regional and segment trends gives a really valuable snapshot of this whole expanding industry.
Absolutely, and we hope this deep dive has given you, the listener, a much clearer, more concise understanding than wading through a dense market report yourself.
Hopefully saved you some time.
Definitely. So as you reflect on all this, maybe consider what these strong growth trends suggest about the future. Your own skincare choices, perhaps? Or just your broader perspective on the beauty and wellness sectors overall. What new questions or areas of interest has this discussion sparked for you to maybe explore further?
Good food for thought.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive.